Here we go, new week, new video. Today we are gonna go with the second episode in the list of video I showed you, I introduced you last week, and today I'm gonna show you how to control our Valeton GP-200 using an Android smartphone. Okay, to show you how to control our device, this in particular, just an important warning. This video is the second episode in a short series related to the MIDI capabilities available on the Valeton GP200, our multi-effect that you have seen. There are other videos in the channel related to that. If you haven't seen the previous one, please check it, because I'm gonna skip some parts that have been already shown during that video in particular, because so I'm not gonna repeat and focus only to what we are gonna have a look to today. So the tools we will be using will be an Android smartphone, my personal one in this case. We will need a USB on the go cable or adapter. This one you see as a female USB-A on one side, and it is an adapter that has male for iPhone, so Lightning, USB-B, and USB-C. So this can work for as a USB on the go adapter for my smartphone that has a USB-C port, a smartphone that has a USB-B port. Now they are really uncommon, but also I have an old iPhone I can use with this one. Today I'm not gonna use an iPhone. This video will use only an Android phone, and an app that is working only for Android is not available for iOS. But at the end of this short series, I promise I will create another short video to show you how to obtain a similar result of what we are looking at today using your smartphone or iPad, your iPhone or iPad if you want. Then we will need some other tools I've showed you during the last video. This one is a Bluetooth adapter that is manufactured by mWave, a Chinese company, as usual. And this one is meant to create a connection between, through Bluetooth, between a MIDI device. You see that it has the usual 5-pin ports for MIDI. We have a plug that is going in the output and a plug that is going in the input of a keyboard and or our Valeton GP200 pedal board. And also, last time I showed you a pedal board that is named Chocolate, that is pairing directly and without and in completely transparent way with this connector. So it is like connecting them with a cable. It is also possible to use a cable. But today I'm gonna use also this one. These two are coming together. This one is named mWave MS1A. This one is named mWave MS1B. They are coming together in this kind of box, so you can find them. Are very inexpensive, and by the way, they can be provided in bundle with the pedal board I've showed you during the previous video. But sorry, I'm I'm going off topic. Okay, these two can connect perfectly together without a need of pair. They are automatically paired when this one is turned off and when this one is powered. This one has a USB on both sides, so a male on one side, a female on the other side. It's not important which one you connect to your device. It is working nevertheless. It can take power from both of them, and it can take the signal from both of them. So it can work as an adapter. If you plug it to a device that has MIDI input or output functionalities, this one will connect it directly with the A part, like there were a cable connecting the two devices. So if you plug this one in our Valeton and this one in our smartphone, it is like having a cable that connects our smartphone to the Valeton MIDI ports. And that is what I'm gonna do in a moment, right after changing the scene. So give me a second. Here we go. Now you have seen what we are gonna use. So let me move the smartphone outside of the video. I will show you the screen of the smartphone on the desktop in a moment. So just be patient. I just would like to show you how to make the connections on these devices. So let's bring in on the screen my GP-200. You see that there are some MIDI ports on this side. I'm sorry, I cannot taking it directly in the front. I cannot turn in because I have some difficulties with the camera. But I can show you live how to connect this one. The first part that is out arrow, it is supposed to be inserted in the MIDI output that is on this side in the Valeton. So I just need to plug it in. The other part needs to be connected to the in port because this transmitter works in both directions, so it can receive MIDI inputs and send them through the in port to the Valeton, or can receive MIDI inputs from the Valeton and send it to another device, as we have done in one of my other videos that you can have a look at. So I will leave you some links in there. Then, of course, I will need to connect my smartphone to the other part. So let's move this out. You see, I will connect the adapter here. Okay. Sorry, it's a little hard to enter. Okay. Then I can connect the MS1 to the USB port. Let me see. As lucky as I am, I will for sure make it upside down. So give me just a little patience. I can insert it here. You see that it turned blue and it is blinking because it is not paired, because it's missing connection. If I turn on the other device, you see that now the blue light is fixed, and you can tell from below here. Let me try to show you the reflection. You see that this one has become blue with the light, so they are paired. In simple words, it's like this port and these ports have to be connected with a cable or something like that. It is working wirelessly. It uses Bluetooth for communication, but it is BLE, so it is very power friendly, so it's not expensive from this point of view, and it is very fast. It is something that I would like to show you, because you know that Bluetooth is often connected to low performance and a high delay, because it is focused on other topics, not to real-time use. But for the use we are gonna see, it is working quite well. So let me move this away. Now I'm gonna show you on the screen, on the camera, the screen. I will center the screen of our Valeton, because in a moment I'm gonna show you how to control it using your smartphone that sends some MIDI commands. But before that, of course, we need to switch to another view. Give me a moment. So I'm going to this. Now we have still the screen, but for the moment I would say I can hide it, because the first thing we are gonna do is configure our smartphone, because to obtain the result we are gonna try, it is important, we need to use an application. The application we are gonna use is named MIDI Commander. So if I show you the screen of my smartphone on the left hand side, of course on the screen of the desktop we have I'm going to show you the manual to connect to the last time, but for the moment focus on the smartphone screen. So we will need to go to the Google Play Store, so it's very easy. Search for MIDI Commander, like here, you see. It should be the first result that you get. Let's have a look at the icon. It's made of some white and red spirals. So focus on that. It is manufactured by a company named Bordero, just to make sure you know that you can find some fakes. Just install it as usual, as you do with any Android application, so very easy to do it. Then you can open it. Sorry. Oh, when you open it, it will ask you for some permissions, in particular to write external storage permission, location, and Bluetooth. So allow it. Well, allow the position. Generally speaking, sometimes it's useful. Consider that this app can also leverage your smartphone Bluetooth connector to identify BLE devices. So with some, it can be used with many purposes. And if the device you are using as a MIDI receiver can receive Bluetooth commands, you can send it from here, and vice versa. You can receive the MIDI commands to your smartphone. In any case, and in that case, it is necessary. So here is not very important, but you can allow those permissions without particular problems. Let's just browse for a moment at the structure of the system. If you press the three lines on the top left, you will see a menu where you can decide different pages of different commands. Buttons, that is this one. By the way, these ones, if you press the pencil on the top right corner, it is possible to edit. That means edit. You see that the gear appeared on the bottom of the screen. If I press it, it is possible to decide how many buttons you want to have in total and how many buttons per page you want. So for example, if you want 20 buttons in two 10 buttons pages, you can do it, because you can decide, for example, 20 buttons. Okay. And if you decide buttons per page could be 10, and in this case you see that I see a page of buttons, and of course I can move with the arrow back and forth the first 10 and the other 10 buttons. This can be helpful for, in particular, for next video we will have a look at the possibilities allowed by this. Let's have a look at the other pages. There are some drawbars. These, as you can see, look like a mixer, so you can set volumes or anything that you can control usually with the slider. You can associate this to MIDI commands again. We have a similar view with the knobs. Knobs are something like this. I will be using this one because they look, you see, you can rotate them, you can turn it on and off. Have a look at the green appearing here when I touch it just for a moment, because they can be turned on off, and then you can set also the value. So they are similar to the sliders we have seen in the page before, but as they look very similar to what we have on our device, for a parallel I will use this one. And also you can have a pad XY when you can you can select some inputs. This is a sort of advanced menu that can control different controls contemporary, but of course it's not something that we are going to use today. It's a little too advanced in my opinion. Then we also have a MIDI monitor. As I said, this app can connect to many MIDI devices and show you the input they are sending and so on. So it can be used also for testing, but that's not our purpose. Today we are going to use the buttons, so we will associate some controls to these buttons, and the knobs for using them. By the way, if you have a look on the top, you will see it is written Valeton GP-200 because I already created some presets. If you press the folder icon, you can load a setup. Default is the basis one. I already created an example that is specifically meant for the use with the Valeton. But don't worry, I'm gonna show you step by step how to configure this. So I'm not telling you that you need to learn anything. Or even better, let me switch to default. That is completely blank. This way I can show you exactly step by step what we are gonna obtain with the use of this configuration. I will, for now, because I would really like to show you some examples of what we can do, I'm gonna reduce the size of the browser. This way I can show you the manual beside the screen of the smartphone. So give me a second for technicalities. Here I am on the home page of the manuals for Valeton. We have been using it also last time, so we are doing exactly the same. Let's have a look at the manual. I will be using the manual for GP-200, of course, so let me open it. It's a PDF, so you can browse it. And let's scroll to the MIDI control information list. In the meantime, on the other side, let's have a look of what we can do with the MIDI command. Let's switch to the buttons page. So I'm pressing the three lines and then selecting buttons. 20 buttons are a little too much for me. So for a moment, I will edit and select just a few buttons because I don't want too many available. Let's keep 6 buttons. That's easy. Wow, well, I prefer it in a square version, so no, 6 is not beautiful. Oh, 8. Okay, this looks clean to me. Now it is possible to set the value of a button keeping it pressed. You see that it is possible to choose the action to do on that button. I selected button 1. Let me try again. We should be in, we should be in edit mode, so press the pencil, make sure that the gear below is at the bottom is showing up. This can allows you to configure the layout, but it also proves that you are in edit mode. Then keep press the button you want. I'm pressing the button 1. Keeping it pressed, this menu is appearing where I have to choose an action. Modify, copy to, move to, insert on position, reset, or rec a MIDI message. Consider that it is possible if we are, for example, sending signals from a keyboard, so a complex signal, it is possible to record it and associate that to a single button. So it's very, very powerful in my opinion, but it's something we don't need today. So let's press modify. I know that the screen that you can see now can look a little overwhelming, so don't be scared. It's not so complicated. You see that there are different situations. I can select a name for the button, and I want to select patch plus because patch minus, because I want to use button 1 to go backward one preset, one patch. Okay. Then it says a list of things that we don't really need. The MIDI channel, this one, must be to 0. That is the first MIDI channel, and that is what Valeton is generally receiving. Then let's have a look at the rest of the possibilities that are below. As I said, MIDI channel must be 0. Program change means this signal PC that the system can send. You can keep it enabled, but by the way, Valeton is not reading these commands, so you can keep it enabled or disabled. Doesn't make anything. I'm disabling it just not to tamper the messages, but you know, the messages are so small that you will see there will not be any problem. Focus on control change. If you have a look at the manual, you see that the Valeton is accepting control change commands. We want to select patch minus for this button, and if you see on this line, let me show you here, you see that it is CC24 that can change between, and any value between 0 and 127 makes no difference, to have patch minus. So as you can imagine, in particular if you have watched the previous video, we are gonna select control change, the type or message, that is the number of the control change, must be 24. Don't focus on the meanings that are already here, because some control change follow certain standards in MIDI, but forget it. Just focus on the manual. It's not important that you understand. You see, the 24, by the way, is undefined. That means that any manufacturer can use it for its purpose, whatever it wants. So let's make it 24. Then we need to select the value between 1 and 120, from between 0 and 127. Any value, in any case, produce a patch back. So, well, let's keep 10. Yeah, why not? It's the same. It is also possible to send a second control change. So it is possible to send more than one command together, but we don't need it. So for the moment, we are just keeping it disabled. Okay. You can also select the color for the button. So if you remove the default, you can select any color you prefer. For example, purple. Why not? Okay, that's done. And then I can press the save the disk on top there. Let's save it. You see that now I have a purple button that should be associated to patch minus. Let's do something similar for the button too. So again, I'm pressing to keeping it pressed, selecting modify, have a look, name it patch plus, then look at the program change disabled, the MIDI channel is 0, control change for patch plus, it is 25 in the manual here, you see. So let's select 25, scrolling from here, let's take it, and the value again 10 is fine, because you know these commands should be on off. So program change would be perfect for that, because they are just binary commands. But Valeton is not compliant with program change, so it receives a control change with any value and read it as like it was a just on-off signal. Well, in any case, let's disable the second control change, not necessary. Let's change again the color, like green, for example, and save it. Okay. Now, oh, by the way, in the one, sorry, it seems not that, oh, it didn't catch the name. Let me rename it, patch minus, and save it. Okay. Now let's select another couple of buttons, like 3, and associated to bank minus and bank plus. Minus. Again, disable program change. Bank minus in initial mode, so without waiting, in the manual is 22, you see. So let's select control change value 22. You may see a parallel with the last week video, because we did exactly the same configuration. Again, value 10 is fine. Disable the second one. Choose the color, not default. This one, let's make it purple blue for similarities. And the last one, the 4, modify bank plus. As you can imagine, I'm going fast because I think that you can follow me without particular issues this time. Again, MIDI disable program change. The bank plus is 23 in initial mode, so let's select 23, okay, disable the second one, Let's change again the color. Here select a darker green as to keep it similar to what we had for the patches. And now you may be interested in looking at what is gonna happen to the Valeton. Let's have a look at the screen. If everything, this one is turned on, it is now possible to change the preset using the commands we have saved. So if I press patch minus, I'm expecting that the patch here is changes. Now we are looking for an example at 06D. If I press it, you see 065. You see that the buttons has become black. Well, if you want the color of the button to remain always the same, you need to set something also for the release button, but it is something that we can look at in the detail if you are interested in this. But in any case, I can press this button anytime I want, and you see that immediately when I touch it, the preset is going back, the full change, so we return to the 63. With patch plus, as you can expect, we get the following presets. With bank minus 03D, 02D, 01D, you see that it is changing back. With bank plus, I can change it forward, 02D, 03D, and so on, and then go back. So I can, even if the button is black, you just need to click it again to get this done. So it's working quite easily. It's very reactive because you can see that if I press it very quickly, you can look at it, the change is immediate, I would say. That means that the Valeton is very fast in changing the preset, but also the command is sent very quickly, considering that we have a Bluetooth in between the two devices to communicate. So it's very fun. It can be useful in my mind, considering that the Valeton is expressly designed to be used in a live on stage. It would be very good to have in front of you maybe a tablet that is used for you to read the text if you're your one-man band or something like that, or if you're playing both guitar and voice. And you can also change the preset looking at this. And in next episode, I'm already spoilering that you will see a more advanced use of this that can be really helpful for our needs. It can be very interesting, in my opinion, because it is something that maybe you didn't imagine it was possible to do with this device. Okay, now it is time to have a look at other possibilities provided by the system. So I'm switching, look at the smartphone, I'm switching to knobs, to the third page, and you see that I have many knobs available here. Again, I can edit. If I edit, I can select how many knobs I can have visible. I'm keeping the group very small. For the moment, I just keep 6. So they are very big and it is easy. Well, but honestly, I want to have 3 in a line. You will see why. So let's make it 9. So we are not saving money here. Okay, well, what we can do now is something really interesting. If you look at the Valeton, you see in my view that I have here, you know that there are 3 knobs here that are the quick action knobs. These ones control the functionality that is showing directly above. In this particular patch, for example, that I will be using as an example, the first one is controlling the gain, the amplifier gain. The second one is controlling the volume of the distortion. And the third one is controlling the general patch volume. So you see, if I rotate them, the bars are moving very slowly, but they are moving. You see that this one is moving, this one is doing the same, and this one they are not so reactive. But if you have the device, you know it, because they favored precise movements compared to the use of this one. Now return looking at the screen of my smartphone. Let me hide for a moment the screen of Valeton, because I want to guide you again to the selection of some presets. Again, let's make sure that we have the pencil turned on, so we are in edit mode. Again, the gear at the bottom of the screen is telling you that we are in that modality. Again, here we can select one of the knobs and keeping it pressed, select modify. And again, you will see the screen for the configuration. I'm confident you are familiar with it again. Now it is numbered knob 1. Again, we can select the name. So my purpose is to assign the first 3 knobs to the 3 knobs with the quick knobs in the Valeton to do exactly the same effect. So I'm calling this quick 1, just to remind us what it is. Quick 1. MIDI channel, again 0. Program change, disabled. Control change, well, we can decide which one. And look at the screen for a moment. We have a section that is control change enabled, that tell us what is doing, what message the device is sending. But looking at immediately after here, I mean in this point, you see that you can select another control change and select what is the value when it is pushed, as I showed you in a moment. Let me go back for a moment, so save it for just to keep the name. Well, sorry, something went wrong. Okay, here we go. Again, let's go to knobs. Okay, you see that there is a green light, very small, to the knob. That means that I can turn it on and off. This is a possibility to, for example, you can use it as a knob to select one value when it is rotated, but you can also set it to a specific value when it is pressed, so turned on and off. But let's see again to that, so let's add it again. Modify, as we said, quick 1. Push function can be enabled or disabled. The control change, you can decide which one to use for the general rotation of the knob. So now let's have a look at the instruction manual, where we can see that, let me show you here, you see that quick access parameter 1 is associated to number 16, and it can change value between 0 and 100, so 0 to 100%. Don't get confused to parameter to CC17. This one, as you can see in the description, quick access knob 1 parameter adjustment, you see that if I pass a value between 0 and 63, I turn down by 1 step, and between 64 and 127, I turn up by 1 step. So this one is meant for changing the value step by step, not to show you exactly what it is supposed to happen when. So it's not to select directly a value, but just to give it some inputs to move back and forward very slowly. So we will use the 16. So let me return to the screen on my smartphone. Sorry, it turned off. And let's select like control change type and select the 16 as we have seen before. Okay. Now it is also possible to select a value when the system, when the button is pressed. For example, considering that the first knob in in this preset, the quick knob number 1 changes the gain. Let's imagine that I want to turn off the gain, so stop it when I'm not using when it is turned off. So we could decide that the control change again can be 16. Okay, and the value for on to be 0, In this case, when I press it, I'm expecting that the system will just turn to 0. So for a moment, let me save it. And this one has been saved. Let's do the same for quick knob 2, modify. Again, let's name it quick 2. And control change, of course, enabled. This time for quick access knob 2, we need, so you cannot read it if I don't hide the screen. So let me scroll for a moment the screen. Quick access knob 2 is 18 and quick access knob 3 is 20. Keep in mind 16, 18, 20, so we don't need to look directly to this anymore, so you can focus on the screen of the Valeton. So let's select in this case, so 18, yeah, and when it is turned on, again I'm selecting 18, okay, and the value 0, okay, and save it. So let's take the third one, name it quick 3, quick 3. Again, let's select which one. Remember, it was the 20 that we have seen to be used. Oh, sorry, there's something. Didn't got my count. Give me a second. Okay. Then again, let's select 20. Oh yeah. And the value again, I want to select it to set it to 0. Okay, so you see that it is possible to do a lot of things, including sending program change, toggle, and so on with the there are a lot of details that can be set, but of course we have this video would become very long if we do that. Just let me save this and show you in a second how this is supposed to work. So look at the screen of the Valeton. So now I'm turning the control knob. Focus on the screen of the Valeton, so I can show you how they are supposed to work. First of all, make sure that you disable edit mode. You see that the pencil on top is still red, so and the gear is still present, so I'm still in edit mode. So let me turn it off. Now look at the 3 knobs we have here. If I try scrolling the first one, you see that there is a slightly delayed change, but it is very reactive, so very quickly. And if I turn it on, so I press it, it goes immediately to 0 because we decided that that was the activity we wanted it to get. So to reduce immediately to 0 the value. If I change the second one, of course, I'm obtaining the same identical result, and the same for the third one. So I can move it to 0 and set the patch volume, so the output volume of the full system. So there were some examples I wanted to show you to let you understand what it is possible to do. Of course, they are very simple examples. We just took some small commands in the long list available in the instruction manual and tried sending this message through the system to our device that received it, and also very quickly, by the way. It is very reactive to MIDI commands. Before leaving you, I would like to give you a couple of hints related in particular to the application used. The most sensitive among you may have noticed that there was a glitch between the first part when we selected the buttons and then when we tried them, because I found out that the MIDI, in the meantime, I updated my smartphone and I found out that MIDI Commander, so very important warning, MIDI Commander was crashing very often in my case when I was connecting through USB the transmitter because of an exception in the drivers, and I found that it was possible to fix it selecting the right drivers in the settings. This is done pressing the 3 buttons on top right. selecting global settings, and making sure that Android MIDI drivers, so in this area, are moved to on. But be careful, this is valid for Android 14. Was the update to Android 14 that created to me this issue. I'm not telling you that you are going to face the same problem. That's not mandatory. In case you would find it, there is a high possibility that this is the reason. Second tip to make sure, if you do everything as you have seen, so let's imagine the application is working as expected, you are able to make all the configuration and so on, but in the end it looks like no signals are sent. Make sure that again in this menu the USB MIDI device selected is the right one, because especially selecting the Android drivers, the system is also reacting, finding out any USB device connected, including my adapter. So when I'm using my smartphone connected like this, both the transmitter and the adapter are identified as MIDI interfaces, MIDI peripherals. So I need to make sure to select the right one. In fact, in the line USB MIDI device, if you press the blue line, you see that I have Alk and GLE Technology Sync. That is the M-Wave source. I know, you know that with the Chinese company, the names are difficult. I need to select the second one, and by default, the system uses the first one. Received, that is the LK, so nothing was working. So would like to share with you this couple of warnings that could save you some time because honestly I had to scratch my head somehow to find out why this was happening, but it was possible to do it. So, being said this, I hope that you liked this video. My purpose was to show you what are the possibilities again for our wonderful pedal board that we can play it with. And of course, the focus is to improve the possibilities in the intended purpose of this device, that is using it on stage, or in any case in a situation very close to that, where you need to have everything at the tip of your fingertips, ready for use, backups, and so on. But in any case, you can really experience additional functionalities in this device. Being said this, going forward in the next episode 3 of this short series we started last week, I would like to show you again using Android smartphone and MIDI commander how we can obtain the possibility to control some scenes. Well, by the way, you will see that this is possible in both ways, with of course different limitations, both using the smartphone or the pedal board we have, like the chocolate we have been using last time. So I will show you a couple of examples, because the matter is not what is the system used for transmission, but there are some additional functionalities. You may have heard that Valeton GP-200 does not have, officially at least, the support for scenes or snapshots, if you prefer to call them like that. Instead, there are other devices in the same price range that claims to support that functionality. So in next video, I'm gonna show you that Valeton is already out of the box supporting scenes as they are described by some competitors, and that is something that really I don't like too much, because it looks like there are different interpretations for the same functionalities. But also I will show you how it is possible to. Okay, we will not obtain. I'm spoiling that we will not obtain a perfect result, a complete support for scenes like you can get with the much more expensive devices that cost 3 or 4 times this one. So of course we need also to understand what we are thinking about. This is an entry-level pedal board that, in my opinion, already has an incredible amount of functionalities and possibilities considering the price range, and also it's a great bang for the bucks. But it is possible to get close enough to make it usable, especially for very specific uses. In any case, I'm renewing to you the invitation for next week's video. Make sure you're not gonna lose it, so please consider subscribing and clicking the bell. This way you will get notified when the new video will be available. And in any case, I'm at your disposal if you need additional description or so. You may have noticed that, especially in these videos, I didn't focus on basics functionalities of the Valeton or so. So I skipped some topics like where to how to select some knobs, how to associate the knobs to certain functionalities in the sound chain and so on, because I think that there are a lot of other tutorials that can help you in this on the tube. And also, by the way, the manual is very clear on this. But consider, if I did a mistake in this case, if you prefer to have a step-by-step guide also for these initial settings, just let me know. I will do it. So feel free to leave a comment to let me know what was clear enough, what was not so clear, and you would like me to explain better. In any case, I'm renewing to you the invitation, as I said, because next week we will have really an interesting topic. So make sure you're not gonna lose the next video. In the meantime, thank you for watching to everybody, and bye bye.